One place in the Premier League is still up for grabs, but will it be Leeds United or Southampton heading back to the top division at the first time of asking? The Championship playoff final is just 2 days away. Both managers have been speaking to us this afternoon. Such a huge game, this, for both clubs. So, as you can see, we have Tim and Gail with us. And, well, how have Leeds and Daniel Farke been approaching this one, Tim?
Yeah, afternoon, Pete. It is a huge game for both teams, but do you know what? Leeds just want to keep the good habits they've had all season. So Daniel Farke is approaching this game in much the same way as any other game. But the key, I think, for Leeds is to feed off the momentum from that playoff semi-final second leg. Leeds had lost a little bit of rhythm going into the playoffs, but they certainly rediscovered it in that second leg. Another clean sheet for them. And their key players back on the score sheet. And Elland was bouncing at the full-time whistle. And off the back of that, Daniel Farke says him and his team are ready for Wembley.
No, it's a massive game and also a decisive game. It's a final, and for that, obviously, you're always even a bit more focused and concentrate on such a game. But it's also important to stay calm and to find a good balance. It's just football, so we have to concentrate on the content. Obviously, we are highly motivated, exactly like our opponent as well. But we're all looking forward to have this game, and it's a massive chance. It's a 50-50 game. Anything can happen, and this means also a great chance. Yeah, perhaps even to promote back to the Premier League in the first time of asking. And for that, yeah, we are really excited, but also concentrated and focused on the content.
So Leeds talking about keeping the focus. Gail, what about Southampton? Russell Martin, what's he been having to say? I mean, he's won it before as a player, hasn't he? And as a captain, is he going to use that experience?
Do you know what, Pete? It's really interesting to listen to Farke talking about the fact that it's just another game, because I've sat and listened to Russell Martin for the last 45 minutes or so, and he's saying, while our processes remain and our preparation remain, I've been trying to get the players to understand the enormity of what awaits on Sunday, to understand that nerves are a good thing because it presents opportunity and something very magical could happen. And it's in quite contrast. And he's talked a lot in the build-up to the final about managing the emotion of the day and the atmosphere and the occasion. And he's been able to call on memories of himself 9 years ago, as he mentioned, as captain of Norwich in 2015. He led the sides against Borough in the playoff final, and it's one of the best memories he has. He's lived and breathed everything that goes into winning a playoff final, the nerves, seeing his family in the crowds, the joy at the end. And he said he has been tapping into that this week, and he has been using that to get his players in the place he wants them to be at before they walk out of Wembley on Sunday.
I felt the relegation that we had the year before so personally. It hurt so much, and it affects your life in so many different ways. When you take pride in what you do and you care. And we have a lot of players that care, and were part of that last season. So they have such a chance to feel the complete opposite, and to feel something really spectacular that they will remember forever and have feelings about. And yeah, because I still remember that day now. And it was one of the best. So I hope, and I feel like it would be even better feeling being on this side of the fence rather than playing, even though it feels 10 times worse not playing and not being on the pitch to control anything. But yeah, it'll be incredible.
Some really positive team news as well for Southampton. Saw pictures of Jay Adams training yesterday, and he hinted that he could play a part, and he's trained fully this week. And he made the point that he's been picked for the Euros for Scotland. He's out of contract. Nonetheless, he pushed himself to make himself available for this game without knowing what his club future looks like next season. Well, Stewart is also available. Remember, he scored in a playoff final. So huge boost in terms of having those players available. And it's so intriguing, isn't it? Because these are two men that know each other very well. Farke was manager of Norwich. It's where, of course, Martin captained. And the two didn't see eye to eye. And that's just added to what might be, already on the sideline, a really intriguing game on the weekend. And Tim, I know that Farke's been speaking about that today as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's right, Gail. He was asked about that. I asked the question to him, and we do love a subplot going into these games, although this one probably doesn't need it. But he was quick to diffuse the situation. Even though Russell Martin and Southampton have done the double over Leeds this season, the only team to do that, he was full of praise for the job that he's done at Southampton and the role that he played at Norwich when Farke first took over.
He was a club captain, and especially in the first weeks, got also a lot of information because of him. I was quite pleased, and even during this time, you could tell that once he would become a manager, because obviously he was then more or less in his later stages of his career, but he judged also the games and everything what happens around the pitch and in the dressing room more or less already in the eyes with the eyes of a manager, and I was quite sure that he would do a really good job in this business as manager, because he was also desperate to do this one day.
One key bit of team news from a Leeds perspective, Patrick Bamford has missed the last 4 games for Leeds United. He's had a knee problem and he won't be available for the final. They've been desperately trying to get him fit all week, but he'll be out. There's also a little bit of a doubt over Sam Byram, although Leeds, I think, are quite hopeful that he will be fit, and we don't expect major changes as far as Leeds are concerned after that performance against Norwich in the second leg. Daniel Farke talking up this game, the enormity of it, but Gail, he says, while it's a massive game for Leeds, the stakes are just as high for Southampton.
Yeah, Martin has been saying the same, and it's interesting to talk to him because as a player he managed to get promotion through the league automatically, and as we mentioned, the day of a final he said, I'd take that Wembley victory any day of the week. He's so new to management in a sense. He's just 38 years old. It's hard to imagine this is his 3rd club, and here he is on the eve of such an enormous game. But he is determined to take every opportunity that comes his way. And win or lose, the job he's done here, he's immensely proud of, to have taken this team, to have pulled a squad together, to have got the culture, the environment and the connection to fans back. But nonetheless, he still hopes to come out on the winning side tomorrow.
Yeah, huge. I think the other games I've had where I felt how much it means to people were the derbies at Swansea, and we had a great record in them because we tried to embrace that, the privilege of being in that position and being able to give people memories, which I'll be grateful for forever. We have a lot of people coming from Swansea on Sunday, which means a lot to me as well about the feeling we had and the connection we had with those people and we worked with. So I hope we can have another moment with them, albeit in a different way. So yeah, it's huge, mate. I'm not going to pretend it's not, and it is, and it will be. And everyone around me knows that, and we have a chance to have a really special and brilliant moment, or to feel completely opposite. So yeah, it is what it is, and I'm looking forward to it.